Hey, what's going on, sports cars fans? Ray from Philly here. It is Tuesday, December 5th, and welcome to episode number 2 of the 300 Great Baseball Cards of the 20th Century by, you guessed it, Mike Payne. On episode number 1, I was joined by Mike Baseball Collector and Chris from Missouri on Mike Baseball Collector's channel. I'll post the link down below for you guys who want to go back to check that out. That was showing cards from 1950 to 1954. Well, tonight, the three of us are back, and we're going to be showing 1955 to 1959. So I'm going to bring in my compadres right now, Mike Baseball Collector and Chris from Missouri. What's going on, guys?
I've never been a compadre before, so I'm excited.
Especially on Dallas week.
Yes. Go Cowboys. Suck it. Ban the tush push. Ban the tush push.
Ban the tush push. All right, so last episode, we covered 1950 to 1954. There was quite a few cards in that. The 50s in general, there's a lot of cards, so we had to split this decade into 2 episodes. So tonight is the second part of the 1950s. So without further ado, I guess we should get started. The first card from the 300 Great set is the 1955 Bowman of Hammer and Hank Aaron. So there's mine in the 4.
Mine is a 3.
I have a 3 as well, but great card. Love the image of Hank Aaron there. It's funny as we go through these 50s now, you know, you're going to see Mantle, Aaron, Mays, like a lot. Which
Definitely.
I don't know if I have several criticisms. I mean, he had to do 300 cards, so that's a lot of cards, but it feels very certain player heavy.
Without a doubt, Mantle's represented the most. I think he has 17 cards in this book.
Yeah, and there's some quirkies in this lot too, though, that we're going to do tonight. So
yep.
Yeah, there is.
So after that is, speaking of Mantle, the 55 Bowman Mantle, which I don't have. And Mike has that in a 3.
Yeah.
Chris, what's your grade?
2.5.
2.5. 2.5.
I'm always
All right,
better.
So it's not 25, right, Chris? It's 2.5.
It's 25.
I was saying that because I saw your Yastrzemski video, 5.5, 55.
You know, these 55 Bowmans, I love them so much. The centering's obviously a huge issue on these, and it looks really weird if they're really off center, right? Because you want that brown border all the way around. And so I'll take a low grade, but a nicely centered one, which is what my Mantle is. You know?
The set has grown on me throughout the years, for sure.
Me too.
So there's one more card from that set, and that's the 55 Bowman of Jocko Conlon, which we all, I'm sure, have. PSA 4. Chris has an SGC 6. Mike has a 5. I lose.
Well, there's 4 Hall of Fame managers, I think, or not managers, umpires in this set. So they're all technically rookie cards, which is kind of interesting. You've got Conlon, Al Barlick, Nestor Shylock, and Cal Hubbard are all in the 55 Bowman set as umpires. So
I am looking hard for a Cal Hubbard. He played football in my hometown here.
Oh, nice.
And we have a little I'm putting together something for the local museum.
Cool. Well, next up in 1955 of Hammer and Hank, his second year. This is a new pickup for me that I picked up this year in a 2.
I have one in a 4.
I have a 4 as well.
Nice. And then you guys know, and everybody knows, it's the same picture from 54, 55, and 56 with the same head image. After that, next up is a card I picked up last year. This is the 55 Tops of the Left Arm of God, Sandy Koufax.
Mine's a lot better than Mike's. We had a showcase showdown of Sandy Koufax, our first one, and Mike kind of beat me really, really bad.
What's the grade, Mike? You have 3?
I have a 3. But
Chris has a 3.
No, I have a 4.
A 4, and I have a 2. All right. Moving right along is the 1955 Topps rookie card of the killer, Harmon Killebrew. Nice looking card. Undervalued, in my opinion.
Very.
PSA
You know what's
4.
funny about it? You know, we're showing all these, like, these aren't rare. I think people need to understand that
Yeah.
you can find these cards. They are not rare. Doesn't make them not cool, but it just, everybody think when all three of us are showing them, you know, you can find them pretty easy. That's my point.
Easily. Next up is the 1955 Topps of Harry Aganis. And I forgot what the story was. If you guys can remember what the story was, why this card was in the set.
So
I think he got sick or something. There was something.
I have the book right here if you want me to.
Yeah.
Whip it out. That is the girls' day. It reads, the Golden Greek was considered to be one of the greatest athletes the Boston area ever produced. A college football quarterback legend at Boston University, Aganis was a first-round pick of the Cleveland Browns, who offered him a $25,000 bonus to sign up. He upstepped the Boston Red Sox with an even higher signing bonus, and Aganis turned to baseball as a left-handed power-hitting first baseman. In the early part of 55, he was batting over 300 and appeared to be a star in the making, but was suddenly hospitalized with pneumonia. After his release, he returned to the Red Sox lineup, but fell ill again in June and was kept hospitalized. He never made it back to baseball, suddenly dying at age 26 of a massive pulmonary embolism on June 27, 1955. This was issued shortly before Aganis' injury was yet known, or illness was yet known. So that's why. That's an interesting story about him.
Well, we move on. Now, this is one I don't have. This is the rookie card of 55 Topps of Roberto Clemente. Mike has that in a 4. Chris, you're a little tilted.
A 2 MC.
2 MC. Mike, I remember you picking that up from Phil Filmington, right?
I did. So glad I bought it when I did, because that card's gotten crazy expensive. It was really nuts in the pandemic. It's cooled down a little bit. You can get them not as expensive, but still pricey.
For sure. Next up is another Hank Aaron. This is the 56 Topps Hank Aaron. I have the 4.5.
Hank Aaron and Willie Mays.
Really. And Willie Mays.
And let's just call the umpire Jocko Conlon. I'm making that up, but it could be.
Actually, there was somebody that they found that there was, I think, Vintage Card Curator or somebody did a video. Somebody did the video, and I can't remember who it was.
I saw that video. Yeah, I can't remember, and I think they confirmed that it was Willie.
And I think it's either Al Barlick or Jocko Conlon. So technically 3 Hall of Famers potentially pictured on one card.
That is cool. Yep. Love that card. 56 Hank Aaron.
Same image though, lazy tops.
Yep. Good old Cy. All right. Speaking, we're still on 56. Another beautiful card, 1956 Roberto Clemente. I have this in a 4.5.
I have a 3.
I have a 6.
Wow.
Chris the man.
Flexing.
I love this card with the image in the background and him making the play in the outfield wall. It's a great play.
There's a lot of people that like the 56 Clemente better than the 55.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them, but
I'm not one of them too. But if you look, this catch is going to be a lot like a card we're getting ready to show.
Yep. And this was my biggest purchase of this year. I'm psyched. 56 Topps Mickey Mantle, 1.5.
I have a 3.
I have a 2.
1.5. Now, Chris, you're right. Another image of a great play in the outfield. Nice. And coming now, we're out of 56, and we're now in the year 1957. This is of the Splinted Splinter 1957 tops of Ted Williams. Here's mine in a 3. And I remember the story in the book why they picked this card is because Ted that year almost hit 400 again at his age, which was like 38 or 39 years old at the time.
Mike, what's your grade?
3.5.
So look how off center mine is.
Yeah.
And
Mine is pretty great centering, actually.
Yeah, and this is an SGC 5, but they're pretty forgiving of that mine being off centered like it is.
But as we go through 57, guys, there's 10 cards from the 57 top set.
It's loaded.
Included in this run.
And coming up now is the 57 tops of the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays. I have this in a 3, nicely centered.
I have a 3.5.
I have a 5.
This is one of those, when I started going for these cards 8 to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was I couldn't afford. I mean, I'd love to go back. And I don't ever think about, like, I have the card. I'm not going to go buy a 5 or a 6. I've got it,
Right.
And I've got plenty of other cards that I want that I don't have at all. So I'd rather spend that money on that than upgrading.
I totally agree. It's about ownership at this point, rather than the grade. And what's the saying we've been hearing for years? Own the card, not the grade.
I just want to own the cards.
That's absolutely.
Totally.
Next up, this one's a little off for me, and it's a high grade. 57 tops Don Drysdale. Mine's a little off left to right, and it's a 6.
I have a 4.5.
I have a 3.
But great rookie card. There's so many great rookies in 57 tops, Drysdale being one of them. We're going to see several others here.
And coming up now is the 57 tops Hammer and Hank. I have the PSA 4. The story behind this card is it's a reverse negative. He's a right-handed hitter, and they show him hitting left-handed.
Yeah, I've got a 5 in that.
I have a 1.5.
Hey, you got it.
Yeah, but it looks good, man.
I love it. Yeah.
And to me, this guy is the most underrated. I'm not talking about Hank Aaron, but the next player, the most underrated player, 57 tops, Frank Robinson. I have a 5.
I have a 3. Again, this is one of those I bought long, long ago. Just wanted it,
I have a 4. But we keep saying, like, we keep saying that guys like Frank Robinson and Stan Musial are underrated in the hobby. Eventually, we keep saying all that, they're not going to be underrated anymore. I think Stan Musial cards are climbing to where they should be. And I think when we keep talking about Frank Robinson and how he's underrated, more and more people are going to be paying attention, looking at his stats, and they're going to appreciate that more. And I think they're going to go after the card. And there's always going to be cards that are undervalued, probably, but it's eventually they're not going to be undervalued the whole time. And
Right.
I think Robinson's one that's going to go up sometime.
I hope so.
All 17 people that are going to watch this are going to go out and buy Frank Robinson card.
And they're going to pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is one I don't have, and I'm sure both of you do. And this is actually my favorite Mantle card is the 57 tops Mantle. Mike has
a 3.
3.
Mine's a 5 MC, and these are hard to get centered.
They are. I just love that Mantle card because it's a real photo of him. Nice pose. I just love that card. That's on my agenda for my goals list next year. And we're still in 57. We got now the 57 tops Ted Klaczewski. I have the 5.
I have a 6.
I have a 15. I mean, a 1.5.
Love the cut off Reds jerseys, right?
Showing the big guns.
Yep.
When I first time I read about Ted Kluszewski, it was in a book about Johnny Bench, and there's a picture of him shaving, and he's got his back to the camera, and Johnny Bench on the quote below said you could seat a table of 8 people dining on his back.
Oh,
I mean, it went up like this. I mean, he's just huge.
country strong.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up we have the 57 tops of Don Zimmer. I have 6, but this is
One
not
of my,
his rookie. Is not his rookie card. When I got this, I thought this was his rookie card.
his rookie's 55, I think.
55, yeah.
I have this in a 7. So
Chris, no gots, Chris.
I actually have one setting at Billy Ballgame's house. I just got back from SGC, and I don't know what the grade is, but
Wow.
I'll be glad to get it.
All right. Well, next up is the Human Vacuum Cleaner 57 tops rookie card of Brooks Robinson. I have a 3, pretty decent centered.
I have a 3.5. Pretty.
And I have a 5.
I do believe Brooks cards they should be going up as well too. I mean, another player that's somewhat underappreciated, I think.
I love looking at this and saying, okay, like if we combine our collections together and went, okay, take the best of everybody's, and that's kind of the whole point of this, is to like look at it and go,
yeah,
you know, if we fused them all together, it would be a pretty. I mean, we all have awesome collections in our own ways already, but it's cool to see them like, wow, we could use Chris's, 5 on the Brooksy and my 7 on the Zimmer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We'd never use Ray's card. No, I'm just kidding, Ray.
So we all of us collect player runs. That might not be the main focus of everybody, but we all say we collect player runs. How do you choose who to go after first? How do you choose who to go after first? Did you take your favorite player and then but eventually it's not your favorite player, right? So, I mean, Brooks Robinson is one that I recently finished a player run of that I call finished. And, he's like number 27, and I don't know the reason why he was my 27th. Do you guys have a?
Well, when I did Schmidt, that was because he was my favorite player. But then after that, I did Carlton because it was another Philly. Then after that, what I wanted to approach it was first I want to see what rookie cards I have, because once you have the rookie card, that helps out a lot tremendously. So I started with the 50s because I didn't want any players that had cards that went into the 90s and late 90s because there's not a lot of them graded. And so I basically went from like 1948 to a rookie to say the 73 or 74, maybe 75 rookie, which would be like Brett and Yell. But once you get past those guys and Brett and Yell, like, Eckersley or Dawson or Murray, I mean, they go into the 90s and it's just really tough. So I'm trying to go in chronological order, but that's how I've kind of approached it. So like get the K-line, then get the Aaron, then get the Banks. If you have the rookies, then have at it with the rest and try and stay within that time frame of where there are not a lot of junk wax cards in the 90s and stuff, because they're hard to find unless you buy them raw, which is fine,
Yeah. I have no rhyme or reason, honestly.
Yeah, so. I mean, I just kind of lately I've been just picking whoever. Next up is the 57 power hitters, Mantle Berra. CSA 6. This is a nice card.
Yeah, I have a 5 in that.
I have a 1, and this baby's been with me for a while.
I bought this raw a couple during the pandemic.
Good grade.
Yeah, I was thrilled. Next up, this is one of my purchases this year. 58 tops rookie card, Roger Maris. I have a 4, nicely centered. This is another tough card to get centered.
I have a 5, badly centered.
I have a 2, and look at the difference in color.
Oh, yeah.
On all 3 cards.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris, yours is much more deeper.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's not real, Chris. It's fake.
It's fake.
Next up is a really great looking card. 58 Topps World Series batting foes of Mickey Mantle and Hank Aaron. I have this in a low grade too.
I have a 3.
I have a 2. 2 plus 2 equals 4. That's one better than Mike's.
And I think this image is from the 57 World Series when they faced each other.
That would make
Milwaukee came out on top. Let's see. Here's an interesting card. This gentleman's first Topps card. 1958 Topps All-Star, Stan the Man Musial. PSA 8.
I have a 7.
I also have a 7.
This is an affordable card. A lot of those All-Star cards like Mantle and Musial a lot of them are double and triple printed. So
this is a card that I love so much that I want to get one in every grading company's slab. I don't know why. I just love it so much that I have an HGA one. I need an SGC and a CSG, but I'm going to be like, that's the only card I'm going to buy intentionally multiple times just to have. I don't know. I just love it. So I never have a problem buying it.
I thought you were going to say you were going to get that whole set of the 58 All-Star, which is actually pretty cool.
Well, I do have that because I have the whole 58 set.
Okay.
Finished. So I do have that already. Speaking of
next up, another All-Star, 58 Topps All-Star Mickey Mantle, PSA 5. And Mike, you were the one that found this card for me.
I did.
Yeah. You called me up. You're like, you're buying this tonight. This was like 5-6 years ago. I'm like, well, what grade is it? 5. I wanted a 6. Just get it.
Are you glad you did?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I have a 5. That's an easy card to get because it's triple printed.
Printed. Yep.
So easily the most affordable Mantle card out there. And it's a great looking card on top of that.
It is. I love the red background. American League was red. National League was blue. This card I got raw from my LCS at the beginning of the year. Submitted it. 1959 Fleer, Ted Williams. Ted signs in 59. I got the 1.5.
So I also acquired mine raw and sent it in. It's a 4.
Nice.
I got the whole, 59 Fleer Ted Williams set, and I pulled this card and the Ruth, and I graded both of them.
Nice.
Ironically, I sold the Ruth, and it was a chasing cardboard purchase.
Right.
Wish I would have kept the Ruth now because I have the whole set in a binder and it's missing 2. This one, whenever I have a binder with graded cards, I have my scan of the card and I kind of resize it to where it's the size of a regular card, and I print it and I cut it out and I put that in the binder that, because I don't like the holes. It just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
So, but I need to get the Ruth card again.
It's a tough card to find. This card's not, I have a long story about that card, but I'll tell it another time. When I had a chance to buy it raw about 7 years ago at an auction, a live in-person auction. Got outbid by some elderly guy with a cane walking up, and he just kicked my butt.
Wow. Yeah, not hard, not easy, because Bucky Harris didn't have a Fleer contract and he got pissy about it or whatever. So,
all right, we're still in the same year, 1959 Topps George Anderson. I have in a 5. This, of course, if you don't know who that is, Sparky Anderson, the manager of one of the greatest teams of all time, the 75 Big Red Machine Reds.
affordable rookie card for a Hall of Famer for sure.
Yep.
You got to love that he's on the Phillies there.
Yeah.
He wasn't a very good player, though, if I remember.
Nah. A lot of managers, when they were players, really weren't great players, but they went on to become such great moguls.
Great point.
Next up, this was a Philly show purchase a few years ago. 59 Topps Mays Catch, 7.5.
Wow. I have a 5.
I have a 2.
I got lucky. You won't believe what I paid for this card in person about 7 years ago. I think it was like $60. in person. I was like, oh my God, I got to get this for the set.
Great grade.
And the next card, as everybody affectionately calls it, the Pepto-Bismol card, 59 tops Bob Gibson. I have a 4.
I have a 3.
And I have a 3.
That one
You
might
guys,
be one I would upgrade over time.
you
at
guys
some
are
point.
doing Gibson next after Yaz.
Yeah, on Showcase Showdown.
I'm out. I don't have a lot of Gibson. And the
I plan
last
on,
card, what's that, Chris?
I plan on beating Mike on that Showcase Showdown.
Rick Gibson?
He has drubbed me twice. Uh, I'm starting to feel like I'm the Washington Generals and he's Meadowlark Lemons.
Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm gonna make a comeback.
All right. Well, I'll be tuning in. All right, we got one card left, guys, and then we're done with the 50s after 2 episodes. The 59 top Symbol of Courage of Roy Campanella, 4.5.
Got a 5. I love this card.
Yeah, so do I.
I love all campy cards, honestly. So
That's an easy run to do. Once you get the rookie card, I mean, what's he have? 49 Boma to 57?
Yep.
Yeah, that would be.
I picked up a 52, not just this past week.
Yeah,
and
that's a tough card.
It's a beautiful card, but it was a little bit tougher for me to get than I thought it would be.
Right. Well, that completes 2 episodes that we've covered the whole 1950s. And like I said, if you want to see episode 1, I have the link down below. It was from Mike's channel about 3 weeks ago. And make sure you check that out. It's a lot of fun. It's a set that myself, Mike, and Chris have been doing for a long time. And if you guys want to just kind of expand why you like doing this set. I mean, for me, when I first got started and got back into collecting around 15, I saw videos on YouTube of guys and they were mentioning this book, and I needed some sort of direction. And I felt like, not that I thought I would ever complete this, I'm not, but I just thought it was a good group of cards, and it wasn't just all rookie cards, and it just showed some really cool cards from different years other than the rookies. What do you guys think about the set in general as to why you love this? Is this your favorite set of all your registries?
This one in the post-war rookie Hall of Fame set. But for me, it was I saw the book, or I saw you do. I don't remember who started who, but I heard about it. I didn't know it was a registry. Maybe I saw the book. Somebody had showed the book, and I thought, these are all really cool cards. Like, if I'm going to focus in my vintage, pursuing this vintage thing, this is a pretty good list to start with. Let's do that. And I started with the 60s and beyond first. I didn't want to go down all the 50s because I knew I couldn't complete it, but I thought I can complete 60 to now, or through 99. I think that's doable. Come to find out, that's harder than we think because of the Griffey jersey card, the Mantle Griffey autograph. There's some heavy hitter cards, $10,000 cards in the 90s. So, but I just, it's one of those, who doesn't want to own all these cards? There's a few head scratchers, but why wouldn't I want to own all these great cards in my collection?
Yeah. I think when I saw the cards in a book, I don't know, it was just something about being in a book that gave me some sort of, okay, it's in a book. It's not something that I'm picking out from random. I'm following a book. It just felt structured to me. And I guess I'm kind of obsessive compulsive that I'd like to follow things that are in a book or in a list or something like that. And it felt right to do this. So,
well, I got to blame this crap on you guys.
Sorry, Chris.
Mike was probably the first. Mike was the first one I watched and first one I probably talked to. But Ray, you were probably the same night that I watched stuff, and I saw that you guys were collecting this, and I knew nothing about it, and I just was watching some of the cards you were putting away, and I thought, okay, I have some of those, and my wife said, "Well, I can get you the book here tomorrow." And so she got online and got a book sent to me, and I opened it up. I went through my stuff, my graded cards, and I had over 180 of the 300. And I
Wow.
thought, okay, this is doable. I mean, this is really cool. And I knew, but I didn't put a whole lot of thought into it, except the fact that I knew two guys on YouTube that did it, and I could follow along with my cards and my book. But then I got to where I heard, oh gosh, it might have been John Keating, because he's it's always raining on when he's doing something. He's almost as snarky as Dave at times, and I think he told Mike, like, why are you doing this? You'll never finish the run. Do you remember that at all, Mike?
Totally.
And then I said to myself, you know what? John Keating's a pretty smart dude. There's no way I'm going to finish this run. So I stopped. And matter of fact, I sell cards on occasion at shows. And I remember selling the twins of the 54 and Lasorda and somebody else that didn't fit my regular cards. And I got out of it for a little bit. And then, dang it, Ray, you got your Tupperware thing out and was putting some cards in. And I picked it up again. And it is one of my favorite things. My post-war rookie Hall of Fame run is the one I'm most proud of, but it's completed now. So it's player runs and this. And I really, like I said earlier, that I had cards sitting at Billy Ballgame's house that I just got back from SGC. Well, actually, I'm adding three more. I got the Don Zimmer, and I got the Eddie Wakis, and I got the Roger Maris post-war or post
serial
card. And so I get to check off three more. I take that book, I put a blue tab right when I get a card in, I put a blue tab right by that picture of the player, and I count it up and I write out the percentage of what I have to do. And one of the, I mean, if we ever do this show up into the 90s, I might have to take a snooze because I don't have a lot of those cards. I'll just be watching you guys show cards. But
well, I mean, that's the same case for all of us. I think for the 30s and 20s and 10s,
Yeah.
There's only 3 cards in the 20s, and then there's quite a few in the 30s, but I doubt we even have half of that. I mean, I've gotten questioned so many times when I would post a video on it and a comment question, do you honestly think you're going to finish it? No. Well, why are you doing this? Because it's fun, and the cards are cool in the book. I mean, all the other set registries are doable, like player runs and the post-war. Those we're looking at it, I think, as more of a completed set that we're trying to aim to complete it. This set, it's more so just for fun and a friendly competition on the rankings on the registry. That's about it. I mean, to try and aim to get 100% of this is really far-fetched. No one's going to get the T206, Hannes Wagner, it's just the Ty Cobbs. It's just out of the realm of possibility for a lot of people. So I think it's just mainly just getting the cards for fun. They're great cards and a friendly competition and just to go move up in rankings. But all the other sets, yeah, we're all aiming to complete those. They're not for rankings or anything else. Those we're looking at to just complete.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I appreciate you guys coming on for doing this. I guess the next up, we're going to do the 60s. Maybe we could squeeze the whole decade in. We have to count how many are in the 60s. If there's a lot, there's probably a lot in there too. We might have to split that into 2 episodes, which I'm fine with. I think, the more we show these cards, the better. So I enjoy showing these cards, sharing this book registry. So, thanks guys for coming on and sharing the same registry that the 3 of us all share. So I appreciate it.
Love it.
Thanks guys for tuning in. And like I always say, have fun with it. See you real soon.